Tonight, the St. Lucia Teachers Union meeting held with hundreds in attendance may have spread a mysterious illness causing teachers to call in sick tomorrow. The Civil Service Association defies ministerial disapproval and goes full steam ahead, holding an emergency meeting with its members on Monday. And Hot 7 News presents a special report on corporal punishment in the Caribbean. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Monday, the 11th of March, 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. I am Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Two unions were mere feet away from each other as they held meetings in Castries, bringing most of the country to a standstill. Schools closed and many public service officers missed work to attend their respective meetings. Hot 7 News begins the broadcast with the St. Lucia Teachers Union meeting. Teachers from across the island came together to raise a collective voice of anger and frustration with the government over their failure to raise teachers' salaries in 6 years. Also raising the issue of the spontaneous corporal punishment ban, the St. Lucia Teachers Union says the decision leaves teachers at a major disadvantage. In fact, the Hot 7 News desk has received word that the St. Lucia Teachers Union meeting may have spread a mysterious illness, causing teachers to call in sick tomorrow. Hundreds of teachers convened at the National Cultural Center early Monday morning to discuss a number of long-standing ills and concerns within the St. Lucia Teachers Union. SLTU President Julian Monroe definitely did not disappoint as he dived straight into the nitty-gritty and discussed a number of issues.
We're here to say that we have been suffering for too long. That it's over 6 years ago we got a salary increase. That everything is changing around us. That our households are poorer today. But we are still supposed to continue to feed people's children in school and give them resources. We are here today to say we want the suffering over. That's why we are here. And I must tell you that some of you have put me under tremendous pressure in the last year or so. You WhatsApp me, you call me, you meet me in the supermarket, you meet me in a little fete where I go to enjoy myself. Mr. Monroe, what's about negotiation? What is the union doing about negotiation?
The SLTU president also touched on the topic of the corporal punishment ban. He revealed that the cabinet conclusion on the ban was actually passed on the 15th of January. However, the SLTU, he said, was not consulted. Monroe said homes have been failing the children and now teachers are left to deal with them.
The word was out, not the circular, the word was out that cabinet had made a decision since the 15th of January. So that there was a cabinet conclusion, but they knew the circular had to go out that week. So they were calling us to that meeting. So when teachers reacted, they would say that the union was consulted. Well, they didn't trick us into that one. So we have lamented the fact that the ministry made such an important decision, and the SLTU is not getting into the pros and cons of corporal punishment. We are just saying that this is not how you do things, that we had to have been consulted, that teachers had to have been informed in a better way, that the ministry needed to put things in place. In our schools today, teachers have to play all kinds of roles. More and more, the homes are losing control of their children, and we must take care of them.
On the matter of a $1,000 lump sum which was offered to a number of public sector workers by the GNT, the SLTU president said this offer was rejected by them as they are not prostitutes.
We're not prostitutes. We're not. Don't come and offer us a little money on the side for a little thing. Treated as such, we demand to which union that is working son negotiates for Christmas. So isn't there life after Christmas? And we all know maths, and all you need is basic maths, you know. If you pass grade 2, you can work that out. That it is better, I must say that's what we're going for. It is better for us to have gone and negotiate a 1% salary increase. 1% in the first year, 0 in the second, 0 in the third. But all of us will come out with more than $1,000.
Amidst discussions, Monrose took the time to thank the Ministry of Education for allowing the SLTU members to take the day off to hold discussions, albeit in a tongue-in-cheek manner. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
The Civil Service Association defies ministerial disapproval and goes full steam ahead, holding an emergency meeting with its members on Monday to discuss their dissatisfaction with the government's pace of holding salary negotiations for the period 2016 to 2019.
Monday, March 11th began on a tense note filled with union discussions over salary increases and the very real threat of a possible shutdown as word of a looming sick-out continues to make the rounds. CSA members turned up in large numbers for an emergency meeting in spite of the meeting's disapproval from the Ministry of Public Service. Hot 7 News caught up with the president of the Civil Service Association, Cyprian Montreux, at the union's headquarters in Sanssouci, where he spoke about the members' dissatisfaction with the government's pace of holding salary negotiations for the period of 2016 to 2019.
The union had a meeting today to discuss the government negotiations, and the members unanimously agreed that the government's position with regards to the ongoing negotiation is disrespectful, and that the time frame that the government has taken to meet with the unions is unacceptable. And we are calling on government to ensure that they meet with us in the soonest so that the negotiations can come to an amicable close.
The CSA president said workers have been left feeling depressed and highly stressed. He said at this stage, nothing will stop the CSA from getting its point across.
It's the second time that the government has attempted to deny the CSA members to meet to discuss matters that are important to them. We believe the government attempt is to divide us, and so we shall not allow that to happen. Whenever we feel there is a need for us to call our members to a meeting that is very important, we will. And notwithstanding government's denial, we felt it was very important that we meet with our members to update them and to get a position moving forward and for our union to be respected.
Montreux said, judging by the large turnout, this is a telltale sign of the workers' current mindsets. He went on to stand in solidarity with the CSA's sister union, the St. Lucia Teachers Union, which held a simultaneous union meeting at the National Cultural Center.
Today, most of our members did come out. A very huge percentage of our members came out, which is showing that the workers are really, really fed up. And they're tired of waiting, they're tired of being misled, they're tired of not getting the correct information. And so they have made their point abundantly clear that government needs to respect the views of the union and let negotiations continue, as we mandated them in the letter of December 20th, which is basically stating to government that negotiations must continue as agreed. We shall be discussing the working conditions, and thereafter we shall discuss matters of salaries. The CSA shall be in solidarity with all its sister unions as it pertains to negotiations. And whatever all our unions decide collectively, that is what we are going to pursue.
Montreux refused to confirm talks surrounding a looming sick-out by public servants. However, he did not deny the notion either. Following the meeting, workers took to the streets in droves, making their way over to Constitution Park for, according to Montreux, a cool walk to ease their restlessness. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The president of the St. Lucia Teachers Union, Julian Monrose, is calling on the government to go further than a corporal punishment ban by providing schools with the proper resources and personnel needed to man schools and deal with different behaviors of children who attend.
The president of the St. Lucia Teachers Union, Julian Monrose, has finally made a public statement on his thoughts of the recent announcement of a corporal punishment ban by the Ministry of Education, and true to his form, he did not mince his words. Monrose said whilst the SLTU is not intent on fighting with the ministry on the matter, they are simply asking that they get it right. He said the issue is one in need of careful structuring where the right people are hired to tackle the mammoth task of alternative discipline.
It takes resources, it takes support for the teachers, it takes training, etc. In the big countries where they are using the child-friendly school approach, the schools have psychologists, counselors, social workers. Yes, the support systems are there. So you don't just wake up and just change your culture without giving the necessary support.
At the moment, Monrose said, the local schools are barely able to operate on a skeletal staff and resource system as is.
It is without any resources. They have the poor counselors. One counselor to 900 children in a district. What impact they're working at, but what serious impact can they have when you are overworking them many times over? Where is the support? Where are the resources?
The SLTU president also raised the much talked about topic of child-friendly schools. He said as far as he knows, all schools, including his, which focuses on the well-being of children, are child-friendly.
When you come to me and you ask me to agree for my school to be, for us to develop child-friendly schools, I say something is wrong with the language. Because my school has always been child-friendly. Every school in St. Lucia has always been about the children. So what is this nonsense about developing child-friendly schools? If you tell me that we must, times have changed, things are changing, and we must look at methods, alternative, well, and even when we speak about alternative forms of discipline, when I was a boy, my mother had alternative forms of discipline. So what's new? Alternative forms of discipline have always been around. So I knew what it was if I have to go to a birthday party and I misbehave, and my mother said, well, you can't plus go there. That was an alternative form of discipline.
As of May 1st, the act of corporal punishment will be suspended in schools island-wide, with an outright ban come May 1st, 2020. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
And now we present a special report on the abolition of corporal punishment in the Caribbean.
Thank you, Lovely. As St. Lucia looks to bring about an end to corporal punishment within its school system, come 1st of May 2020, Hot 7 News sought to take an in-depth look into the ramifications, if any, that a revocation of corporal punishment has had on other Caribbean islands. In our quest to perform this analysis, we discovered that out of 10 Caribbean islands, only one recognized that corporal punishment is unlawful in schools, and that is Trinidad and Tobago. In February of 2001, the then Education Minister of Trinidad, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, initiated legislation which led to the prohibition on corporal punishment in schools. Article 4 of the Children Act 2012 confirmed the right of parents, teachers and other persons having lawful control of a child or young person under the age of 16 years to administer reasonable punishment, and excluded corporal punishment from this only for persons other than parents or guardians. The National School Code of Conduct 2009 of the Ministry of Education, Trinidad and Tobago stated that corporal punishment should not be used. It continues that understanding that many factors come into play, for example, population, socioeconomic development, and cultural norms, it is difficult to create a direct link between the high instances of youth violence and the absence of corporal punishment. However, it is noteworthy that Jamaica has not abolished corporal punishment while Trinidad has, yet they both suffer from high levels of youth involvement in crime. Also taking a look at the most violent of crimes in both islands, murder. It is noticed that a slight difference exists with Trinidad and Tobago, showing 35 murders per 100,000 people versus Jamaica showing 40.9 murders out of 100,000 people. So it says, is it a case of violent punishment permeating violent behavior? The studies seemingly left undone leave more questions than answers. How do you measure success after abolishing corporal punishment? Have any studies or research been carried out to highlight the benefits of abolishing corporal punishment? Is the Caribbean being forced by international bodies to implement policies against corporal punishment? Are we suitably equipping teachers on alternative forms of discipline in schools? We will continue to research the issue, but for now, this has been our Hot 7 News special report. Back to you, Lovely.
You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.